Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Collapse Experiment. Today I'd like to talk about things you should be doing in order to prepare for what is happening. Let's get to it. In the short term, the things that are happening now, right now. First of all, go fill up your gas tank. Because as of today, Biden is planning to announce, and this usually means he's going to, a ban on Russian oil into the United States. So while I said I think it's going to hit like $7 a gallon by summer, it could be by the end of today. Top off your tank. Limit how much driving you are doing in the near future. Cancel any trips that you were planning on having this summer because you're probably going to need that money, and that money is a resource for other things later. Budget cuts. Make any type of budget cuts you can, whether that's just does Netflix have anything good on anyways? Just saying. If you haven't already stocked up on food, stock up on food. I know it's more expensive now. It's going to be a lot more expensive later. Get it now. Potassium iodine tablets. For those of you that are worried that somebody might press a certain button, get some potassium iodine tablets. It protects your lymph nodes from generating cancer caused by nuclear radiation. It's really inexpensive. It's a short time thing. Radiation levels tend to drop fairly quickly after the initial blast. But you want to make sure that you have protective iodine for yourself and especially for kids. I recently purchased some, and I made sure I had enough, not just for myself and my family, but also for my neighbors, who I don't know what their situation is or what they're prepared for. Or, I mean, the one neighbor was talking about, yeah, I thought about getting into prepping. I think the Lord was kind of sending me in that direction. I don't know if the Lord ever got the message completely through to him. I'll have to double check. Anything that you need in order to grow food, buy it now. If you don't already have a seed bank, start a seed bank. And you can do this with the fresh fruit and vegetables that you buy from your store. If you buy a cucumber, pick the seeds out, dry them out, store them in a little bag. Grow some cucumbers later. Pumpkins, same thing. Basically anything that you buy. I don't care if you're picking the seeds off of the outside skin of a strawberry. Go ahead and do that. Make sure anything that you have for home defense is completely stocked up and ready to go. If it's a baseball bat, have it at a very convenient spot where you can defend your house if anything happens. If you're into firearms, wouldn't hurt to buy an extra box or two of ammo. Dust everything off if you're not going to the gun range once a week. Make sure everything is clean and oiled, because I think things are gonna end up getting messy. Check in with your neighbors, your family, and your friends. I received a phone call about a week ago asking, hey, your place is our bug out spot, right? Like, we go to your place, right? And I'm just... and I was like, yes, you're coming to my place. Of course you're coming to my place. You live in a freaking apartment. Like, what else are you going to do? It's either you play zombie apocalypse in your apartment, or you can come live on 15 acres. And make sure that the people who are suspecting that your place, if your place is the bug out spot, that they know that, or that they know that they're not coming. I mean, this might be the time to tell them, yeah, you're kind of, how should I put this? A useless human being? Go do that somewhere else. We all know those people. They're not going to contribute. They'll eat all your food. And what do you get in return other than the slowest person when the bear comes into the camp? Prepare for the water situation. So, even if you have well water, unless you have an alternative source of power, that well's not going to do you any good. Um, have an alternative. Like we have a pond in our property, I could probably filter that and boil it and make it safe. Is that the water I want to be using for cooking, drinking? Probably not. But I do have the ability to dig an extra well. Um, Fortunately, I do have that as an option. Um, these are things you may want to consider. We also have a fairly large lake less than a mile from our house. Granted, I don't want to be that guy who's like, I don't want to walk 2 miles every day in order to get water. When people in Africa, I think it's like what, like 5 to 10 miles every day just to get a couple buckets of drinking water. Um, but what I'm saying is, we have water readily available just about everywhere around our house. Living in Michigan, that's an awesome thing. You're going to want to consider this. Even if you're in the city, those water towers, because everything is gravity fed, it all depends on how many people are turning on the tap, flushing the toilet, taking a shower before those things are emptied. Something to consider. Have spare tools, spare parts, spare anything you can get your hand on that's needed, um, so that you can fix and or repair things when you can't go out and buy a new one. Um, Home repair books, you'll want to have at least one, even if it's outdated, because most houses really have not changed how they're constructed or built that much since the 50s. Uh, any type of home repair book, um, any type of hand tools. Power tools and battery power tools are awesome. If there's no power, they're not so awesome. Um, if you prefer working with screws instead of nails, make sure you have a hand drill so you can pre-drill holes. Otherwise, that's you're gonna end up looking like Popeye, and yeah, that takes a lot of work. If you even if you live in the city, it's good to have a book on foraging. I remember when I was living in the city, I would find morels in my backyard, and I was in the middle of the city. Knowing how to ID these things and find them when other people around you don't know what the hell it is that's growing out of the ground, it can be very beneficial and give you an advantage. So, definitely something to pick up. Make sure you at least have a basic first aid kit. The other things that I would look into buying would be fever reducers, something like ibuprofen. Not just for yourself, but if you have kids, get stuff that they can have too. Make sure you have this in stock. Uh, any type of bandages, things that you might need. Triple antibiotic ointment. Because remember, just 100 years ago, a really bad cut was a death sentence. So, um, anything that would have made life better back in the 1850s, you might want to pick that up. As for sanitation, so the power goes out and you have no water, don't be filling up that toilet unless you're able to find a 5-gallon bucket somewhere of water to flush that down. Um, In the meantime, be able to, I don't know, build an outhouse or the old-fashioned method of take a shovel outside. Don't poo where you eat. If you are in the situation of needing to bug out, have your stuff ready. Be able to go at a moment's notice, load up the car with what you need, have those bags, boxes, whatever it is that you're using readily available. Make sure that whatever location you're going to knows that you're going to be on your way if something happens. Make sure communication is open with people. If you're not, but you have a feeling that you need to leave the place that you're at for your own safety, get that bug out bag put together. Yeah. Highly durable, long-lasting clothes. Visually appealing apparel is that's should be at the bottom of your list at this point. Even if you could just go to a Goodwill, people tend to donate like really good high quality stuff just because it doesn't look new anymore, but it still has a lot of life back in it. That's something that you might want to hunt down for. I've got several boxes of shoes in storage because, yeah, they wear out. You wear them on your, like, you can't repair these things anymore. So I find a fairly brand new pair of shoes at Goodwill for $5. I grab it because I don't want to pay $50 to $100. It goes in storage. The ones I'm wearing, something happens, it gets a hole in the bottom, whatever. That one goes in the trash, pull out a new one. You'll want to do this with just about everything. Durable shirts, especially pants. If you're planning on doing a lot of work outside, whether it is harvesting firewood, gardening, hunting, foraging, you're going to want pants that can handle that kind of work and environment. So, even if you're just picking it up used at a local Goodwill, go ahead and do it. Alternative sources of heat. I do have a wood-burning camp stove. I also have an off-grid cabin on the back of the property with a wood-burning stove with several months worth of firewood readily available. So even though I might not be able to heat this place, we can just truck it 5 minutes out back and be in a place that is completely warm and habitable during the coldest of nights. So that is something to consider. Alternative forms of cooking, again, a good camp stove, not a propane gas stove. You'll want something that's probably wood burning because you have that source of fuel readily available just about anywhere, and you can start a fire at any time using just about anything if you're good at it. But you want something you can cook on, use for a heat source, something you can boil water in, because sanitizing water is going to be very, very important. Even if you just have the iodine tablets, you're gonna want to still boil it. So that's about it. If I missed anything, I have more complete list of things for your car and for your bug out bag on my website, thecollapseexperiment.com. Go check that out. You can just do a quick search on the website for that. And Take care. Keep on typing.